Welcome to Forbidden Transformation. My name is Karen Holton, and I am co-hosting from chilly Canada. Folks, the frost is definitely on the pumpkin up in Canada. My co-host is Chris Matthew of Forbidden Knowledge News, who is down in sunny, although lately it sounds like you've had a few tropical storms, Louisiana. Our mission is to support and educate the people of Earth and to assist them to evolve and experience ET contact for themselves. In this way, we help to create and participate in the new positive timeline. In future episodes, we plan to offer more about our ET experiences, guests with common experiences and goals, more about the Quantum Health Transformation Program, and any relative news as it occurs. Hi, Chris. How are you today?
I am excellent, Karen. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Good. Well, it's another show. Want to thank you all again for joining us today. I just have a few announcements before we get started. Thank you again, Karen, for putting this together. It's a wonderful show. It really is. You have opportunity to learn a lot. I learn a lot, and we get a great sense of community here. I want to thank all y'all again for joining us again. Be sure to check out Forbidden Knowledge News. It's on all your popular podcast platforms, and it's on YouTube. Visit our website, forbiddenknowledge.news. From there, you can become a premium member, and then you can get access to all of our exclusive interviews, our content, presentations, and a lot more. And we got a lot more to come. You can also sign up for our free, censorship-free social media network, which we will soon, hopefully soon, have an app for. We're working on a lot of stuff. We have so many things exciting planned, including a complete relocation. Now, for those of you that don't know, I'm currently based in South Louisiana with my business partner for the network, Corey Hughes. And I also have a day job that pays most of my bills here. It's a day job that I really don't like, and I feel that it is having very negative effects on my mental, physical, and emotional health. And I've come to the point in my life recently where I realized that life is way too short to be stuck at a job you hate, basically. I'm also in an environment here in South Louisiana that I believe really has nothing left to offer me. There are very few to little like-minded people or even open-minded people around me in my area. Most of my friends live elsewhere, I'll say. So I will be leaving a job of 7 years and moving to Colorado. Um, Something just is drawing us to Colorado. There's a lot of factors, but I think that that is the place that I need to be. Um, I also I want to be able to make a living doing something that not only I love, but I believe that helps people. It helps people get information, learn, have a sense of community. And right now, I believe is the most critical time in human history. I believe we need shows like these. We need shows like these to help in our transition period. I know that I have a job to do on this planet, and it's not working for the company that I'm working for. It's doing the show. Now, all that being said, money doesn't matter to me. All these material things, they no longer matter to me. What matters to me is us, this planet, thriving, continuing to grow, and bringing back what we need on this planet, and changing things because there needs to be a change. And I do believe that I have a part to play in that. Now I also need to eat. I need to live. I need to have a roof over my head, and of course, operate the show and network. I know it's going to be a lot of hard work. It's going to be a lot of dedication, and I'm going to be facing some probably very tough times in the next few months. I'm going to be honest; it's pretty terrifying because right now this show makes Forbidden Knowledge News makes just enough to basically operate, and Colorado is very expensive. But I'm going with my gut instincts and with what I've learned from my recent experiences. contact experiences, downloads, everything that has happened recently, I'm going to take the leap that too many people in my life were either too afraid to do or too comfortable, which I was definitely both. Now it's time for, like Karen and I discussed on the last show, on that actually Alfred's show, the hero's journey. Um, it's time for mine to really begin. I'd really love for all of you to be there with us through it. Without all of you, I wouldn't be here. This show wouldn't exist without your support, without everything that all of you done, being there, encouraging me, and growing as a community and audience. I want to thank you all so much for that. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. So, if all that being said, if you would like to help in our cause, help us relocate, help us launch this network, you can leave a donation. Karen has a link in the description. Anything would be greatly appreciated. There is a link for that and the website as well in the description. And all that being said, Karen, thank you so much for everything you've done. And I look forward to the show today and your presentation.
Oh, thank you, Chris. And to be honest with you, I think it's wonderful. My intuition and guides have told me that Denver or somewhere in Colorado is a really good choice for you. And so I have faith that things will be pulled around in the universe for us so that we can continue with this show, so that you can continue with the Forbidden Knowledge News platform. And let me be perfectly clear, folks, as soon as the platform is ready, I am pulling out of YouTube, Facebook, Google. I believe that those systems are toxic. So I'm just going to leave it at that today and say, yes, please do, support Forbidden Knowledge News. I got to tell you, if it wasn't for Forbidden Knowledge News, if it wasn't for you, Chris, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be the sane, whole person that I am today. So I appreciate you very much. So
Thank you, Karen.
Oh, it's true. So with that, I'll just get into my own announcements, reminding people that this is a brand new show. So please help us to reach everyone by liking, subscribing, and sharing the show with your friends and your family. And the show is interactive, so please add your comments to the comment section so that Chris will check and we can bring you in, if you have any questions about the content today. And we also have a brand new service called Intuitive Time with Karen and Chris, and that's available through my website. And again, all the links will be in the description below. I also offer services of consultation and support for spiritual matters and/or ET contact. And please support our work by purchasing one of my beautiful Zen Domes orgone generators. I'm just going to give you a quick peek at this one. This is the big one I have called the Ultimate Chakra Copper Layer Pyramid. It's 130 millimeters by 130 millimeters at the base. It's just absolutely beautiful, and it's got lots of crystals to support each of your chakra systems. And this is the biggest one that I have, and it's absolutely beautiful. We only make them in small supply. We're just a small little home-based business. I'm not a rich woman. So we only actually have 4 of those left.
By the way, everybody, I have 2 of those that I keep on my desk at all time. I love these things. The energy is really incredible. They are very high quality. You guys really need to pick up some of these.
Thank you. We're actually going to, not the next show, we have a guest the next show, but the show after that, we're going to get into orgone. So come back for that. Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like them. So I also want to remind everyone to check out the very educational books from Alfred Lambermont Weber. He is the creator of Exopolitics. He's the co-founder of the Omniverse. And Alfred's ebooks are now available for a donation. So if you've only got $2, you can download his ebook, any of his ebooks for $2. He doesn't want money to come between you and finding out all the information, all the technical information about the omniverse, the exopolitical movement, what's going on with all of that. His books are just brilliant. And we recommend them to all seekers of truth. And again, all the links will be in the description box below. So that's it for the announcements. I just want to move into, for those that have just joined us for the first time, what we offer and what to expect. So we will be having bi-weekly Forbidden Transformation shows on Sundays. That's every 2 weeks at 12 noon Pacific, 1 o'clock Mountain, 2 o'clock Central, or 3 o'clock Eastern time on this YouTube channel. And our next show is October 25th. And Chris and I offer consultation and support services. So if you're interested in that, please do contact us through my website. And we now have a Forbidden Transformation Facebook group, which offers peer-to-peer support for those of you who are following this show. And please do let us know if you'd like to be a moderator, because we want to keep the trolling down to 0. Yeah, because it's a little support network. It's not there for the trolls, it's for us. And I want to thank you very much for your emails, and I'll do my best to continue to respond. But I want you to understand, folks, is that I get so many emails. I also have, you know, my orgone generators that I'm creating and that I'm getting out to people. I also have content for this show and another show that I host called the Quantum Guide Show. I've got my own personal care program, meditation, taking care of myself. I just can't answer all the emails. I would love to, but I do my best. So quite a few of you have heard back from me. Now, if you're looking for support, please go through my shop on my website and select one of the different services. I do not have the capacity to give you online support just through emailing and texting and messenger. I don't have enough hours in the day. There's just so many of you that are reaching out to me, which is a good thing. But please understand that I can't always get back to everyone. So do the right thing. Go and check out the services, select the one that suits your needs best, and help support my work. Because otherwise the energy is just going out, going out, going out. I need the energy to come back in too. Chris and I both do, so that we can keep everything healthy and dynamic. So with that being said, I want to move into our main programming. We're going to talk about lifestyle and spiritual success, because a lot of us have health issues because we have not been taking care of the body temple. And I want to I'm not going to shame you for the way you eat. I wouldn't do that. But Chris and I want to talk a little bit about how food makes a big difference in our spiritual capacity. So for thousands of years, right up actually until about 100 years ago, food was well recognized as medicine. We can get a healing by the foods that we choose. And I want to tell you a little story, a true story from my own life. One of the things that helped open up my mind to the healing nature of food is I was a single mom. I raised my kids on my own. And of course, money was always a problem. And a friend of ours gave us an opportunity to go fishing at a fish farm. So along the coast of British Columbia, there's a lot of fish farms. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen farmed fish in the supermarket. So we went fishing and we took the fish home. And I was going to prepare it for food, and I realized that the meat was so mushy, there was nothing to it. These fish had parasites, these fish had diseases, these fish were clearly sick. I did some research on what they were feeding them. They were feeding them processed pellets, they were feeding them dyes to make their little sockeye bodies look like real sockeye salmon. They're GMO. They were basically trash, an altered version of the sockeye salmon that was not even fit for human consumption. And I really got it that if we feed ourselves terrible foods that are full of that are processed, that have no life force left in them, that are GMO, that are full of chemicals and dyes and things like that, our bodies are going to degenerate. We are going to become susceptible to illness. We will not be able to have good mental health. We will not have good physical health. We won't have the energy that we need to get out and have the kind of life that we all really, really want. So besides food, there are other things we can do as well. And but I want to leave it at just saying that you are what you eat. And when you develop a level of self-love and self-care for your temple body, try a walk on the wild side, start improving your diet and see what you can do. And Chris, I'd really like you to tell our viewers about C60. It is the most potent medicine that I have ever taken, and I truly mean medicine, even though it's not a pharmaceutical. Can you tell us about C60, Chris?
Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, C60 is really amazing. When I came upon them as a sponsor and learned about it, I was very intrigued. And when I started taking it, I was amazed, after just a couple of weeks of the results. So C60, it's short for carbon 60. It's actually a naturally occurring molecule. It has 60 carbon atoms forming something that looks like a hollow soccer ball. It's been extensively explored in biomedical research because its very unique structure and properties. It's characterized as a free radical sponge, and it has antioxidant efficiency that is several hundredfold higher than any conventional antioxidants. It's a super antioxidant, basically. It was originally hypothesized to exist by Buckminster Fuller in 1979. He predicted the existence of C60 and said it would be used in medicine in the future. In 1985, it was discovered actually by three scientists, Robert Curl, Harold Kroto, and Richard Smalley. They named the molecule in Buckminster's honor. It's as the Buckminster fullerene. They also referred to it as the buckyball. And in 1996, they were actually awarded a Nobel Prize for the discovery of C60. It can not only be found in nature, it actually precedes life on Earth. It is actually produced in the atmospheres of giant red stars. Trace amounts can be found on Earth at meteor impacts and near lightning strikes. Tiny amounts can even be found at the burnt wicks of candles, very, very trace amounts. And what it does is it helps maximize the efficiency of the cells in producing energy, and it may actually provide cellular protection against toxic environmental factors. Crap that's around us all day, what's in the food, air, water, what we eat, what we drink. It helps reduce inflammation in the body by neutralizing free radicals, these oxidative radicals. It works at a cellular level. It allows mitochondria and other cellular processes to function normally. And it actually may help to maximize the efficiency of cells in producing energy, hormones, and cellular metabolism. These health benefits are, of course, still being studied and observed. But what I can tell you about, if you like, is my own personal experiences and how it has helped me. And if there, like I said, like Karen said, if there's any questions in the chat about C60, please feel free to leave them now. Do you have anything to add, Karen, before I go into, what C60 has basically done for me?
No, except I would like to come in after you talk about your experience with it. I'd like to tell folks what my experience is, because I can come on here and tell you the science like what you've just done, which is wonderful. But what does that actually look like in your day-to-day life? So I'd like to come in and talk a little bit about that. And then I also want to talk about the elephant in the room, which is the price, and why it is how it is, and how we can deal with that. So if that's okay. Yeah. So yeah, take it away, Chris.
Price is actually easy. It's an easy thing to solve because with C60, I mean, will you need as many doctor's visits? Will you need as many hospital visits? Will you need to spend as much on medicines and prescriptions? No, I don't
Mm-mm,
think so. But we'll talk
mm-mm,
about that too.
mhm.
Um, for the first week of taking C60, for me, it was like kind of like a cleanse. Everything bad came out. Um, if you get my drift. A couple of weeks later, I started noticing more energy. I was sleeping better. I'd just wake up feeling better, and just kind of like just gaining an overall sense of well-being. I felt more comfortable, and I was actually thinking clearer. After about a month, I felt better than I felt in years. I still do. I feel amazing. I actually lost almost 30 pounds. Um, if you remember, if you've watched my older shows, I used to be quite a bit heavier. Um, and I believe that C60, this is just my personal experience and belief that I think it has an effect on consciousness as well. I don't know if it opens up parts of your mind or affects your pineal gland. I don't know what it does for that, but I've experienced effects from it. And I believe it's from C60 because it didn't happen until I started taking C60. I also didn't have any supernatural, spiritual, paranormal experiences until after I started taking C60. And again, I'm not saying that those are linked or related in any way, but I do have a gut feeling that in some way it is. So I'm still taking C60. I'm very blessed to be able to take a good amount of C60 daily because they are my sponsor. So I do take probably more than recommended dose, but it's okay to take a little bit more. You're not going to overdose on C60. The normal dose for people to start out with is recommended 1 teaspoon, and you can go up from there. I could take up to 4 tablespoons a day, and I really feel great. I usually don't take any more than that, but the benefits are really amazing, and I find that with each day I feel even better. And another thing that I talked to Ken Swartz is the chief scientist of C60 about. I had a toothache, and I actually started swishing with C60, and we talked about how it is beneficial for your gums. It gets in there and reduces the inflammation. And the toothache was gone by the next morning, um, and I haven't had any problems since. So the benefits that I've experienced myself are very profound, to say the least, and that's what I've experienced.
Thank you, Chris. Great. Yeah, I've noticed a difference in you. Actually, why I started taking it is I was watching Chris because I've been one of his viewers for a couple of years, and I love your show, Chris. And I noticed that you were having some health issues, and you were looking like you were not bad or anything, but you were just sort of looking like you. And then you told everyone, oh, I'm going to try taking the C60 and I'll let you know how it goes. And about 4 days later, you did another show and I saw such a difference. I went, wow, I need some of that. I'm 60, almost 65 years old. I need some of that too. So I watched over the next few weeks and I saw quite a transformation in Chris, and also Ken, who he had on his show, who's from C60. It's actually called C60 Purple Power. And he looks amazing too for his age. And I went, wow, I want to get me some of that. So what's happened for me when I take it, I'm still detoxing because I'm still fairly new to it. And you detox and you get quite thirsty. So you drink more water for sure. But I got to tell you, after 3 or 4 days, I'm sleeping better. I have more energy. I'm thinking clearer. I'm less prone to depression and anxiety. And I'm noticing a big difference. Now, I want you all to understand that I already use food as medicine. So I already have almost no caffeine in my diet, no nicotine, no processed foods. I eat, vegetables from a farm and eggs from a farm, and I only eat grass-fed, free-range, humanely treated protein sources. So I'm already being super careful. I don't consume any alcohol. I'm not doing drugs. I'm not out partying. I have a very, very modest lifestyle. But I found that in today's day and age, and I believe it's a technology-related thing, that I just wasn't able to really have the kind of energy I needed to be able to do the things I wanted to do. And so I said to my guides, I said, hey, y'all want me to do this work in the world, and I'm happy to do it. But y'all need to pull the universe together for me and create a way so that I can afford to take this product and other products. I also take CBD oil. That's another whole show. And I need these things so that I can get out and do your work. So I'm going to trust that you're going to make it happen. So what I did was I just started taking a look at my budget, and I stopped. Believe me, my life is great. It's not like I'm going without because I stopped doing certain things, but I stopped hanging out at the mall and just picking things up there. I'm not buying alcohol. I'm not buying tobacco. I eat fairly, really pure food. I don't have a big Saturday night social gathering to go to. I don't eat at restaurants. And as Chris was mentioning, if you have to pay for your prescriptions, like a lot of prescriptions in Canada too are not paid for. If you have to pay for your prescriptions, or if you have to pay and go get dental work done, you compare that and put it into a proper perspective and realize you can't afford not to take it. And so what happened was I was able to find a way to take it. And wow, what happens is I'm able to be on more shows, help more people, answer more emails. I'm able to be much better at what I'm doing. And now I'm fully committed to staying on the C60 program. Now, yes, and it also enhances the deep states of meditation. It also, I believe, is very good for you spiritually. And I'll tell you why I think that is. I'm not a doctor and I'm not a scientist, but I'll tell you what I think. It's a very powerful detoxification agent, and it easily passes through the blood-brain barrier. So it gets into your brain and it removes all that crap, the stuff that causes dementia and Alzheimer's, and for people to get brain fog. How many of you out there have brain fog? If it gets rid of all of that, you're functioning at a whole new level of humanity. And when you reach out, it's much easier and clearer to get a hold of your guides. So I think again and again, it comes back to taking care of the body temple, learning to love the self and the body that we have, taking good care of it, nurturing ourselves. And I really, really believe. So we've not come on to talk about C60 as a sales pitch. We've come on to tell you, folks, if your intuition says that you want to try this, please do. There's no harm that can come from it. It's not going to cause you to hallucinate. It's not going to cause you to have any fake spiritual experiences.
There's actually no side effects I've experienced at all. No negative, nothing.
There's none.
All, yeah.
There's no negative side effect. How many pharmaceuticals can you say that about? So I wanted to talk to you about that. So I don't want you to go, no, I'm not going to get it because it's too expensive. No, that's not right. Now, if you use Chris's coupon code, which is knowledge10, and that'll be in the description box below, you get 10% off. And if you're in the US, you also will get free shipping. That'll help a lot.
That's it's actually, you have to the link will be in the description after the live stream. It's c60purplepower.com. You can go there and use coupon code knowledge10, or just use the link that Karen will put in the description after the live stream. 10% off, like she said. It's so worth it to just be able to know that you are taking back control of your health. And Karen's right, your mental capacity is definitely affected. Definitely feel sharper, and so many different benefits that go check it out for yourself. Go check out their website, read up on it, And check out C60. It's definitely worth you and your health.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why we're telling you about it today. So thank you. So now I guess we're going to get into the PDF and the screen share. Is there anything you wanted to say before I get into the victim triangle and the champion sphere, Chris?
No, let's go ahead and get into that.
Okay, so let's find it. There it is. I'm going to share it with everybody. Okay, so this part of the program is taken from, again, Quantum Health Transformation. This is an absolutely free online course with over 20 videos, and they're loosely linked to the chakras. And we're going to be drawing today from step 9, which I want everyone to start at step 9 and work their way up to step 1. So here it is, step 9, block, introduction to Nubby Ball Tool and light shadow integration. You can find this on my, there's 2 playlists on my YouTube channel, and of course you can always find it on my website. So last lesson was about how to care for your energetic body and how to improve your spirituality through taking care of your energetic systems. Today is about how to improve your journey, the quality of your journey, by taking a look at social roles and how we interact on a social, in a social way. And basically, this is what I'm going to call the victim triangle. The victim triangle always has 3 different positions, and there's an interplay between each of these positions. I'll get more into it in the next image. But the champion sphere is very different. It's actually another conceptual tool that's a sphere. And it has a light side and a shadow side, and it has many, many gradients that take you from the light into the dark, and with many, many options in between. So consider it, the victim triangle, consider it drama at work. Yeah, it can mean drama at work where you work, but it also is drama at work in your life. And it starts with the victim. So something happens to us, somebody hurts our feelings, somebody does something, and we tend to go directly into the victim role of poor me. And then generally there's a persecutor. And that person is either done something that, well, the victim perceives as having them do something to them, or perhaps it's just that they tell the victim it's all their fault. Everything is their fault, and they're really not helpful. They're antagonistic to the victim. And then on the other side, we have the rescuer. And the rescuer, it feels good to be the rescuer because then you're a hero and you're helping people. And so the rescuer is always going, I can help you, I can help you. And so these are the 3 roles, and our whole society runs on this dynamic. And so on this image, we've got it backwards. We've got the persecutor on the left and the rescuer on the right, but we've got the victim at the bottom, and the victim's going, it's not my fault, it's what they did to me. It's what he did to me. It's what she said about me. And that's where the victim is. So then you, when you play the victim role, you always have to cast another person into the role of the persecutor. So when we play the victim role, we always have the big meanie on one side, and then we have the person who's going to come rescue us. And there's something in it for everybody. The persecutor gets to say, it's not my fault, it's all your fault. The victim goes, no, it's nothing's my fault. And the rescuer is going, you need me. What's interesting about this is, of course, there's gradients or degrees to which we play these roles. But if you go to the churches or the nonprofits or the helping agencies and you don't play the victim role, they don't know what to do with you, because they're all cast as rescuers. And then there's always the bad person who is the victimizer. So, and that's no good, because life is a lot more complex than that. People are a lot more complex than that. And as long as we're just going back and forth on this victim triangle, we're never really creating satisfying community, satisfying family relationships, or anything like that. Now, to take this to even a more extreme degree, the persecutor often falls on the narcissist or the psychopathic type of role. And the victim, of course, is the victim. And then the rescuer often falls more into the empath role, where we want to help people. We want to do stuff that's good. And there's an interplay. And when the rescuer gets burnt out from rescuing the victim, then they become the victim. And now this person who's the victim might become the persecutor. They're not really, but to the rescuer who's burnt out and now playing the victim role, that's how they form it in their minds. And the persecutor, it doesn't have to be a narcissist or a psychopath. It could be someone who says, look, I'm tired of rescuing this victim person all the time. They need to grow up and learn how to deal with their shit. And so it's all their fault. They need to change that. And then when the persecutor gets fed up with, everybody, the rescuers being down on the persecutor or the victim, they change positions. And now the persecutor becomes the victim. And now they're casting the victim as the persecutor, and they're reaching out for the rescuer. And it gets to be a bloody mess. It gets to be like a soap opera happening, and it runs this way on every level of society, because that's all we were given. That's what we were brainwashed into until we decide to do it differently. So you can see religions, helping agencies, this template is appropriate for, all the dynamics we have in mainstream society. And another way of looking at the victim triangle is the feelings behind it. So the victim is always sad. They're always sad when they play this role. And that's a horrible way to live your life. The persecutor's always angry. And that's another horrible way to live your life. And the rescuer is always in fear. Not just of, if I don't rescue that person, they won't be okay, and that's on my conscience, but also they're in fear that they won't be seen as a good person. If you're not seen as a good person in society, you don't make friends, you don't get the support that you need and you deserve. So I know this is pretty simplistic, but it sort of paints you the picture. The victim triangle is too simplistic, and it does not fit with reality. It is confining, and it perpetuates old paradigm social drama. This way of perceiving difference must be discarded to make room for new paradigm perception and ways of being. So now make way for the champion sphere. Okay, the champion sphere is actually the same nubby ball that we use in step 9 of the Quantum Health Transformation Program. And basically, if you can imagine, it's like this image. It's a sphere, and it's got unlimited points or positions or perspectives that fall onto this sphere. So this is another tool to help you look at society, look at your social roles, look at your social life, and improve it. So each person, place, or thing has a light side and a shadow side. And a lot of people are running around going, oh, I'm in the light, I stay in the light, I don't have anything to do with the shadow. But the truth of the matter is, everybody has a shadow. Everybody, everything has a shadow. And we have to look at both sides of who we are and how things work, and also how much room is actually between light and dark. So again, I'm going to show you this graphic where you have a light source on a sphere. You have a gradient, from white all the way down to black. So between the extremes of light and shadow, there lies an infinite gradient of gray. And the gray actually more represents reality. And then there's the whole color spectrum that we won't even get into for purposes of this illustration. So the champion sphere, which is also known as the nubby ball, as I practiced with many issues and situations, I realized that I could use this tool to gain greater understanding of life and on many different levels. And here are some of the benefits. It allows us to see more of an issue, situation, or way of being with a more balanced sense of the whole. It assists us to overcome our binary programming and our black-white, positive, negative, up, down, good, evil worldview so that we can see things as they are, truly complex and dynamic. It allows for a greater degree of self-analysis. It helps us to understand social issues which may have caused discomfort or even awkwardness. It assists us to reconcile cognitive dissonance. It offers us a way to look at issues more analytically and less emotionally. It expands our awareness, which is powerful, and it dissolves conflict. We all share a unique perspective, which forms our point of view, and from here we create our opinions. The nubby ball reminds us that there are as many perspectives as there are beings who observe the world. What was right or wrong, fact or fiction, changes over time as it's being observed. An example of that is when the Olympics first started, or let's say the early 1900s, they had people racing, and they believed that we could only run so fast, that was the limit of the human potential. But every year someone would break that barrier and break that barrier. And if they knew how fast people were running today, it would blow them away because they would have thought that was impossible. And so there's all kinds of things, even science, even medicine, all kinds of things change over time. New discoveries are made and they go, wow, it doesn't work the way it used to. Okay, we're going to change everything now. And this is constantly changing over time. And as our awareness expands, we step outside of our programming and we create our own reality. This dissolves conflict and eliminates cognitive dissonance. We also lose the need to play common social roles as we embrace our authenticity. This tool gives us opportunity to peer into our own shadow and do a greater degree of self-analysis and honest self-appraisal. This removes our hypocrisy and it makes way for a much more honest way of living. So when applying the nubby ball to social interactions, there is no point in assigning intention to others because we don't really know what they experience in life or what their true motives might be. So instead of pointing the finger at someone else and saying it's all their fault, they did this and that to me, well, maybe they did, but maybe they didn't do it for the reasons we think. We don't know everything. We can guess, but their stuff is complex and not for us to try to figure out. And really, it's not even any of our business. Our business is our business and it's enough. Our perceptions are ours alone to care for and adjust as we see fit. There's no need for victim role playing because we quickly mature and we become independent people. And for the specific teaching about the nubby ball tool, consult my free online course, as I mentioned, Quantum Health Transformation, Step 9. And now I want to give you some examples of use. So I've got a little nubby ball here. It's a little tool. It's a sphere, and it's covered in a bunch of nubs. And for reference point, we're going to assume that the very top nub at the North Pole is one extreme, and the very bottom nub, which would be like the South Pole of a planet or sphere, is going to be the other extreme. And that's the world that was given to us, that everything's supposed to be bad or good, up or down. No, that's 2 points on an infinite number of points available on a nubby ball, which is why we use this as a tool. So it allows us to see a more balanced sense of the whole and more of an issue, like for instance, spiritual beliefs. So you may have someone who's a Muslim, might be over here. You may see someone who's Jewish over here. You might be a Christian and you might fall on a point over here, but you can understand that all these people have different perspectives And the truth, where's the truth? Well, the truth is the center, those common points at the center. That's where the truth lies. So this also applies to situations like economic status. You could say, oh, maybe rich people are at the top and maybe poor people are at the bottom. No, the majority of people are somewhere around the equator, somewhere between those 2 points, not at one extreme or the other. And you can even use it for different ways of being. Trust me, I'm no stranger to the conspiratorium. And I see people, I've watched a lot of videos on flat Earth, which might be a point over here on my nubby ball. And I've seen all kinds of evidence that we live on a sphere, Earth, and that might be over here. And then there's folks who believe in a hollow Earth. Well, that might be back over here. But you see, there's room for all of us. Because according to our perceptions, especially once we step out of the mainstream construct, we get to create our own reality, and it's valuable and it's valid and it's important. So it really helps us to respect differences. Moving on to number 2, it assists us to overcome our binary program. So again, black and white would be at the 2 poles. But the reality of that even being real is pretty small when you consider all the shades of gray that would be in between, and the gradients of that when you add a light and a shadow side. You can see that things are very, very complex. And that moves us into we get to see things as really complex and dynamic, because what might be a nub over here might become a nub over here. You might have a flat earther who decides, no, I'm a hollow earther now. I've got more information, and that's what my perceptions are telling me is true. And that's fine. You don't have to believe what everybody else believes. In fact, it's better for you if you don't. So this also allows for a greater degree of self-analysis. So we start to look at ourselves. Instead of having to be all good or all bad, we get to look at, yeah, I'm really good in this area. I'm over in the light. But in this area, I can be a real shit. I need to work on that. And then you've got your divide this in half so that you've got one side in light and one side in darkness. There are people who do things in the light, but for the wrong reason, right? And so they might be doing it for, charities are famous for that. They're going to help all these people and they take all your money and then they don't do what they said they were going to do. So everyone thinks they're in the light, but they're really in the dark, right? And then there are other people who do things that you might consider in the dark that are actually in the light. And I'll give you an example. Someone who's forced to steal food to feed their children. Okay, stealing is wrong. We all know that. But we don't know his situation or her situation. And so a nubby ball really helps us to get a greater degree of self-analysis. It helps us to understand social issues, which may have caused discomfort or awkwardness. So you might go, okay, I was over visiting my friends and there was this person there and they were real weird. They had all these weird beliefs and they had these weird ways of being. I'm not sure I like that person. Well, you don't have to do that. You can go, they're over here. That's what they believe. That's what they see. That's real for them. I'm going to respect that. I'm going to live and let live because my nub's over here. But my nub's not better. It's just one of many, many, many nubs, right? So you get in the picture here? So the same thing happens for reconciling cognitive dissonance. You know, you hear something and it's so against what you've been taught all your life. You get angry. You don't want to believe it. You want to call that person a crazy person because they've suddenly upset your apple cart and messed with your paradigm. Well, if you've got a nubby ball, that's not going to happen. Because yes, you can say, yes, I fully validate your experience. You might be over here from my perspective, but I'm over here and this is my truth. And it really, really helps us in that way. And it just really helps tone down cognitive dissonance. It offers a way for us to look at issues more analytically and less emotionally. And we no longer have to take things personally. So now we're not saying this person over here, it's all their fault. And we're not saying to this person over here, come rescue me because I can't do it. No, we got a nubby ball. We're strong. We're champions. And we've got our champion sphere to help us through. So this expands our awareness, which is powerful. And it dissolves conflict because it shows us that everybody has their own unique perspective. So I hope that clarifies the tool for you. Champion Sphere, aka Nubby Ball, the end, which is really the beginning. All my lessons are actually just the beginning, and I recommend people do them over and over again for different levels of understanding. So here's actually a picture of me before I did quantum health transformation. I always tell people I used to be a big woman. I just want to show everyone I was 320 pounds or even higher through most of my adult life. And then after, this is my champion self down here on the right. So after applying the lessons in the quantum health transformation, I was doing some cosplay. So I don't really run around with a sword and shield and scantily clothed. But this is just a picture to show you the huge difference what a spiritual awakening can do for you.
Wow, that's really cool. I like that outfit.
So I wanted to show that. And this PDF is available for download from my website shop. I actually recommend you give me a couple hours because I found some spelling problems that I went back and corrected. So I have to actually put a new copy on my website, but it's available. And it's $3.99 Canadian, which is like $2.50 American, because your dollar is a lot stronger than ours. But every little bit helps. Everything little bit helps because it costs a lot of money for us to have web hosting, to have a server, to have our domain name, for us to get software. It just never ends. And so that's why I charge, but enough to make them affordable to everybody. So anyway, so that's the end of that presentation. I'm wondering, Chris, was there any questions coming from the chat at all around anything today?
Let's see. I don't have any questions yet. If you do want to leave a question, go ahead and do that now. Just go ahead and leave it in the chat. But I just took a few notes during your presentation, that a few observations that I'd like to go over.
Sure.
Now, the first one is huge, and I just realized this while you're going over your presentation. For me, my personal Nubby Ball is my show. It covers all spectrums of everything that I believe should be explored in life. And I've kind of used my show as my own personal Nubby Ball to explore all these aspects, because I may have a person that I don't agree with one day that, even some people may consider evil or bad. And then the next day I'll have someone spiritual, and these, differing opinions every time. Many of my guests won't agree. I may not agree with my guests, but I believe that it is extremely important to get all the information out there, to get all sides, to see all sides of life, to hear other people's theories and opinions, and bring it all together and make our own, form our own opinions and our own belief system and apply it in our own lives. And you might see something on one show, does this apply to me? No. Well, let's watch the next one. Yes, this one resonates with me. And I think that's what's so important about, what you and I do, and shows like this, is to bring these perspectives to people. And, it helps them to see all sides, just like the Nubby Ball, the light and the dark. It exists, and we have to explore it. We have to bring it out into the open. So that's very cool realization that I just had. I want to thank you for that, Karen. Let's see. I took some other notes. It's just another thing. If you can in any way step back and look at your life as someone else, like you're not yourself. I've done this recently, and just go over your life. Look at it as if you're a stranger looking at your own life. And that is a great way to see, do I like this about myself? Am I doing this the right way? Should I do this more? And I've also learned that, nothing we do is ultimately wrong. We learn from everything we do. We make good and bad decisions all the time. The important thing is that we learn from the bad, and we try and keep our lives in balance, because we do need the shadow side. We can't exist without it. But that being said, we don't have to focus our lives on the shadow side. We can actually utilize it. And part of that is it's okay to get mad. It's okay to curse. It's okay to to live, basically. I mean,
To be human.
yes, to be human. You know, you can you make mistakes. It's okay if you get mad at somebody. You know, all these things you have to live the human experience. As long as you're not harming anyone else intentionally, harming yourself, you live through these things. You learn how to kind of. I love the analogy of just when you're in the ocean and you're going against the current, you're going to drown. You got to kind of just go with it. And I think everything is here for us to learn from.
Mhm.
Everything is a learning experience. This life, you know, it's for us to take in and bring with us to the next incarnation or the next level or wherever you want to go after this. Whatever you want to do, that's what it's about. It's our experience. We create reality. Even though we are a collective consciousness, we're still creating our own individual experience as this collective consciousness. Another thing, please worry about yourself. If you keep worrying about other people doing this, why are they doing this? That's bad. They shouldn't do this. What is this person doing? What is this person doing? What is that person doing? Uh,
That's
how
crazy
about,
making.
yeah, you need to focus more on yourself and, you know, maybe that other person will, you know, figure out their own stuff, but that's not for you to worry about. You need to focus on your own self and improving what you need in your life, and those other people won't become important anymore. You really will find yourself, you won't worry about other people as much. And that's just my own experience. And another thing is, you know, it's not all doom and gloom out there right now. There's a lot of great things happening, although, you know, there is a sense of urgency in making change. There's a sense of urgency that we have to come together and do something really soon to change the timeline, the direction we're going, the way everything is headed. But I believe it's happening. I can see it happening. I can see the struggle on the side of the, I guess you could call the dark side. I can see a light balancing back, and I think it will continue to do so. I have hopes that we won't have to fall into this dystopian future that a lot of researchers have predicted and that I've feared and talked about on my show, that we can change that. We can change everything, and it all starts with ourselves. And use the nubby ball, use that tool that Karen gave. Go over this presentation again, because it's very important when you look at it. We need to explore all aspects of life, and I think once you start doing that and actually just take a step back and look at everything, it all becomes a little bit more clear. At least it did for me. And that's all I have to say about that. Thank you again,
Oh,
Karen. That was a great presentation.
oh, you're very welcome, and thank you for your input. I just want to mention one other thing about shadow work. You know, we all know what our good attributes are. So go ahead and make a list. What are you? Are you generous? Are you kind? Are you patient? What do you think about yourself? Then take a nubby ball and plot each of those attributes as points, and then take a look at the opposite. That's the shadow. So you might go, I'm a generous person. I'm always generous. And then you just sit with that for a while, and then you'll start to remember times where you were not very generous, or you weren't very honest, or you weren't very patient. And so you see, we are a combination. We can't get away from it. And trust me, folks, I do not like or necessarily appreciate my shadow side. It's my asshole self. And I would love to pretend it's not there, but it will come out and cause me problems in my life if I don't recognize it. But also, the shadow holds huge amounts of information. So when we're operating in the light all the time, we're only getting less than half of the information. Your shadow self is way more honest and is really important for giving you your gut instincts and to help protect you from danger. So once we can do that, and again, that gets back to the hero's journey, doesn't it? When we step out on that.
Right. Yes. We have a
So,
question in the chat from Connor. He says, this all seems to be building up to something big. What do you guys think is going to happen in the next few months? Well, for me personally, I don't make predictions. I have no idea what's going to happen in the next few months. I have a feeling that uh, big things are coming. I have a gut feeling that we may experience a little, maybe possible turmoil after the election, especially. There's probably no avoiding that, no matter which candidate, whatever you want to call them, wins. There's going to be a little bit of unrest around, probably around the world. But I think it's an opportunity here. I think that we have an opportunity to kind of make ourselves heard in the way that this direction is going, and just continue to share information and spread the word, because like I said, I don't think anybody knows. I know no one knows what is going to happen, but I think that we can help create what's going to happen if we keep doing what we're doing and we do the right thing. So that's what I think about that. Any thoughts, Karen?
Oh, yes, I always have something to say. You can't fool me. Where there's shit, there's a pony. And what I mean by that is if you go into quantum physics and you go into chaos theory, whenever something brand new that's never been around before comes into realization, comes into reality, comes into physicality, it comes from the 0 point, and it has to grab energy from things that are already here, and it creates chaos. It creates turbulence as it comes into manifestation. So I believe this is the awakening of humanity. All the nasty things that happen are to shake us up and wake us up, and things will destabilize terribly before they restabilize into something new. And things got to change, folks. Things got to change. It's not appropriate for us to be ruled by elites anymore. And we know they become pretty much psychopathic. They do not have our best interests. And I personally have retaken my own personal sovereignty. And I'm just got created my own little bubble where I'm working on me so I can be healthy, so I can be kind, so I can have my guides. My guides gave me the Nubby Ball concept, the Nubby Ball tool. That didn't come from me figuring that out. I was given that. So I need my guides. They're a powerful force in my life, and you need them too, your own guides. And so what I want to say is things will get messy and painful before they get better. But hold the faith, keep working on your own personal health, your body temple, your personal sovereignty. Love, absolutely love those people closest to you. Hold them close. Hang on, buckle up. We'll get through this. That's my opinion.
Definitely, I agree. Yeah, we're gonna get through. We have to. We have for all of human history, I believe. I think this isn't our first rodeo here. I think that we've
Yep.
done this plenty of times in the past and always come through it as humans and evolved in the past. And I think that this is a new evolution stage. I think we're going into a new era. I think we've coming out of a dark era and going into a new era of light. And like Karen said, there's going to be some probably what you could call birthing pains, or
Yeah.
a little bit of a transition period, but
Turbulence.
we will get through it much better on the other side.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we were going to end today with a guided meditation. I still want to do that, but I think what I will do is give our concluding comments first. And if you're driving, please don't do this guided meditation. The guided meditation we did in the last teaching show was to help you have heart coherence. And today it's going to be an introduction for you getting in touch with your higher guides, your spiritual guides, ET, you name it. And the goal of this meditation is to learn to open up your peripheral consciousness. So when you're looking at something, so you're looking at the screen right now, watching Chris and I, you also have peripheral vision. So you could be aware of what's on this side of the room, what's on that side of the room, what's up there, what's down there. Although we don't often rely on it, we have peripheral vision. Well, peripheral awareness works the same way. So what you're going to do at the conclusion of the meditation is you're going to listen at all the little points outside of your regular consciousness on the edges. And it might be subtle, it could surprise you and be more pronounced. And I want you to do this meditation and to start to make contact with your higher guides or with ET. And before we start, I just want to tell everyone Forbidden Transformation episode 5 is in 2 weeks, and we've got the exopolitical genius, Alfred Lambermont Weber, and that's October 25th at 12 noon Pacific, 1 o'clock Mountain, 2 o'clock Central, or 3 o'clock Eastern time on this YouTube channel. All of the links to our information and services will be in the description box below. And if you would like to contact us, please email us at forbiddentransformation@gmail.com. You have a better chance of getting your email answered if you send it there. If you email me through Facebook or through my website, then it kind of gets all over the place. And if you want to email us, forbiddentransformation@gmail.com is your best option. And so we'll come in and say goodbye at the very end. But if everybody is ready, it's time to find yourself a comfy spot, either in your chair or you might want to go over and lay down somewhere and get yourself really nice and comfy. I'm not going to make each step very long in this. So what I want you to do is use it as a guide and then repeat it on your own as often as you want. I recommend every day. And I want you to do that and then let us know who you find and what you find. I think you might be quite pleasantly surprised. So with that, I want you to lay back and relax, and I want you to focus on your breathing. And I want you to breathe in to the count of 5 and out to the count of 6. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't want to be over-focused on your breath and lose out on the other things that you are going to do during this process. So we'll start now with breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Feel how good it feels to fill your lungs, expand down from the sternum, down from the belly, pulling that air down, filling up your lungs. It just feels so good, and to let go of the tensions of the world. And while you're doing that, I want you to do a bit of a body scan. So continue with the breathing. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Become aware of your toes. How are your toes feeling? Feet, your ankles, your calves and shins, your knees, your thighs, your hips, your back, up the spine. We're just doing a little scan, looking for areas of pain or tension. Don't have to do anything about it, just be aware of it. Scanning up into your internal organs, scanning up to your neck, your chest, your shoulders, fingers, hands, wrists, lower arms, elbows, upper arms, neck, throat, back of the head to the crown, sides of the head to the crown. Come down the front, relaxing your forehead, relaxing your eyebrows, relaxing your face, relaxing your jaw. Just do a basic scan. Now return to your breathing. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep breathing this way. Relax and sink into your body, sink into your chair or your bed. And now I want you to pay attention to your feet. And I want you to feel roots growing out of your feet, and they're going down to the center of the earth. So they're passing through the moist soil. They're passing through the rock. They're passing through some beautiful crystal caves. And they're just passing down to the center of the earth until you come across the beautiful crystalline sphere at the center of our planet. And our roots are going to wrap around this beautiful crystalline sphere, forming something that looks a bit like a loose cage around that sphere. And we're now going to start absorbing beautiful golden energy up from that sphere at the center of the earth, through our roots, up towards our body, back through all those beautiful crystal caves and the rocks, and finally to the beautiful damp, rich soil, and up into the feet, drawing up that golden, beautiful energy from the center of our beautiful earth. And we're pulling that energy up into the feet, into the ankles and the legs, up into the knees, up into the thighs, up into the torso, filling up with this beautiful golden energy. And when it's filled up to our armpits, we feel it spilling down our arms, spilling down our elbows, our forearms, our wrists, our hands, and our fingers, filling up our neck, filling up our head. And now we feel that beautiful golden energy pooling around our heart, pooling and pooling, just beautiful, sparkling, golden energy from our earth. And now we're going to imagine our hair on our head standing straight up, and we have a beautiful portal about 10 inches or a foot above our head, and it's a beautiful glowing light. And as our hair points up towards this beautiful orb, our hair, our psychic hair, our etheric hair continues to grow through that orb, and it goes out and it connects to every little point of light that's in the sky. So imagine you're in the middle of a desert and there's no cities, there's no light pollution, and we can just see a myriad of beautiful stars in the sky. Well, our etheric hairs are going up and plugging into every one of those stars. And we're drawing back down those etheric hairs, this beautiful silver energy. It's sparkling and it's coming down those hairs from the planets and eventually passes through that orb that sits right above our head, about a foot above our head, and down into our physical hair, filling up our heads, filling up our shoulders, filling up our upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, fingers. Beautiful silver sparkling energy is flowing down into our bodies, flowing down, filling up our torsos, flowing down our hips, flowing down our thighs, our knees, our calves and shins, down into our ankles, filling up our feet and every little toe. And that beautiful silver energy is also pooling around our heart. And the beautiful silver energy is combining with and swirling with the beautiful golden energy that's come from our planet. And as it swirls, it expands and it expands. And it starts to leak out all of our pores, filling up our etheric sphere that surrounds each one of us, filling us up with this beautiful, beautiful star and planet energy. And as we do so, just feel how good that feels, how connected we are to everything. And in those moments when we can really feel that and really make that our own, we are now going to bring in some stillness to the mind. Just cut down the jibber jab a little bit. You don't have to eliminate it completely. We're just going to tone it down a little and a little more. We're going to bring in the spaciousness of the universe, the spaciousness of the multiverse, the spaciousness of the omniverse, and we're going to listen. Just going to listen, bubbling up from the edges of our consciousness. You might hear even a simple hello, or a hi, or a statement like we're here. You'll hear something. It could be a directive. It could be an image. It could be a memory. It could be something we've never seen before. And we're just going to let it come in. We're just going to let it come in for as long as we're comfortable. And then when we're done, we're just going to gently bring our energies back into ourselves, into our bodies. That beautiful golden and silver energy will be connected with for the whole day. And every time we do this meditation, we'll replenish that. And we'll keep doing this until we are able to make contact. And don't be surprised at how easy it might just be for you. And so, everybody bring your awareness back. We're going to get ready to open our eyes and come back. Chris and I are going to say goodbye, and you can go and continue this. Do it again. You can listen to this podcast again. I hope you do. And you can practice. And we really are looking forward to hearing about your experiences and how this works for you. And so until 2 weeks, come back on the 25th of October. Meet Alfred Lambermont Weber if you haven't already. Chris and I are going to say goodbye.
Yes,
I wish
thank
you the
you
best
everyone for
day
joining
ever.
us today. It was wonderful speaking with all of you, and we will see you again in 2 weeks. Everyone have a great day.
Yeah, we wish you light, love, and much happiness.